Well, what a great offseason this has been for the Vegas Golden Knights. We made a couple of moves. Sure, does it hurt to lose Pietrangelo, who was probably our best defenseman from our past little while? Yes. Does it hurt to lose Nick Hague, who was probably our best ever original draft selection? Yes. But we got cold decisions, who's going to help in the bottom six. We bring back Sodden Smith on extremely reasonable deals to help in the middle six. We also bring in Lazon in that Hague deal, who's going to help in the third pair. Korzak's going to get a bigger role. I'm finally excited to see how good he's going to do in a bigger role. And the greatest move this offseason that we saw, we got Mitch Marner. 8 years, $12 million, identical contract to Mikko Rantanen. Yeah, you're welcome for giving you the blueprints for that Marner deal. An 8x12 deal is great for the Vegas Golden Knights. We're now just below the cap with the Pietrangelo going along to injury reserve. And sure, will the defense be a little bit worse? Maybe. But we have a good goaltending, still a pretty dang good defense. And with Marner, our offense is going to be that much more lethal. Get ready, Oilers. We're coming for the Pacific Crown again. Well, we had a good offseason, right? I mean, we traded Kane for a 4th round pick, Robertson for a 5th round pick. We cleared up cap space. We then went inside Bouchard to a $10.5 million deal. Now he's one of the top 5 defensemen in the NHL, so he deserves that sort of a deal. But 4 years, like why couldn't we get him on an 8-year deal? But that defense is good. We got Andre Mangiapane, that's a win. I think he's going to be a much better fit than Vic Arvidsson. Still, like, we still need some things to do in this offseason. I really hope we're not done. If we can get a top 6 forward and a goaltender and still improve this team a tiny bit in the coming weeks, I feel that this team is going to go to the 3rd straight Stanley Cup final. Now, does anyone know if we can go against Sorokin now? Sorokin is not up to be dealt. He is staying with us. Whatever sort of lame reporters have been saying that Sorokin's getting dealt, that's not happening. Sorokin is staying in NYI. So Oilers fans, stop saying you're trading for him. Well, we can look at this offseason one of 2 ways. One, did we acquire some players to help some positions of need for us? Yes. Armia and Perry, great additions. Armia can help on the penalty kill, Perry's some veteran experience. That really makes us one of the best forward groups in the entire NHL. And defensively, what was our problem against Edmonton? We couldn't shut them down. Did we get some pretty good shutdown defensemen? Yes, Dumoulin, Ceci, really good shutdown defenseman. And I do think that Forsberg is a better backup than David Rick. That being said, Ken Holland, what the heck are you doing with those contracts? Ceci, 4 years, $4.5 million. What are you doing? Dumoulin's getting up there in age. 3 years at $4 million. What the heck are you doing? Perry's only a 1-year deal, but you're about to pay him $4 or $5 million plus in bonuses. Like, those 3 contracts are awful. Do I like the additions and do you think they could help us? Yes, absolutely. Are the contracts great? No, they're terrible. So I do think that we sort of won the offseason by getting some big helps in positions of need for us. But then again, I really don't think we won the offseason because of those dang contracts. Yes, this team's finally looking better. I mean, we moved off a couple of problem players, like these guys have been in the room though for so long. Zegras, he gets to go play with his buddy in Philadelphia. Thanks again for Zegras. That deal worked out great for us. Now we got Zegras and Drysdale. That was a fantastic deal for us. Yeah. So they got Zegras. We got Paling in the 2nd and 4th round pick. We also acquired Chris Kreider. That was a great move. We moved off John Gibson. He gets to get his first start in Detroit. And now we got Mrazek and Husso to back up Dostal. Do we still have some off-season business? Sure, Dostal needs a new contract and McTavish needs a new contract, but I have full confidence in Verbeek being able to get those contracts done. We also acquired Mikael Granlund in for agency. You look at this offense, it's probably one of the best in the NHL, and we got a great young up-and-coming defense, and if Dostal can take those next strides to be a full-time starter, this next team is going to be playoff bound next year. Just you watch. Well, it looks like we're running things back, and I'm not overly opposed to it. We've extended Thatcher Demko, 3 years, $8.5 million. Is that a little bit much for Demko? I think. But it's only a 3-year contract term, so we're going to have Demko and Lankinen next year, and hopefully Demko can stay healthy. Garland gets a 6x6 extension. We bring back Brock Besser, 7 years at $7.25. We get some low-end value with some lower-end players like Joseph, McEachran. We bring in Evander Kane for a 4th round pick, which, in my opinion, it was still pretty much to give up for Evander Kane, given all of his problems, but I do really think he can work well in the top 6, provide some physicality. I'm liking this team. I think if we can stay healthy, if Demko's plays really good, if Pettersson bounces back, I know it's a lot of ifs, I could see this team be a playoff team. Maybe we make 1 or 2 more moves towards the end of the offseason, but I'm liking where this thing's headed. If we can just stay healthy, this team's gonna be scary to face. Nothing. We didn't make any moves. Our biggest moves were re-signing Morgan Frost and Joel Hanley. We made no trades. We let all of our pending UFAs walk. We didn't really bring in anyone except for Ivan Prosvetov, who's going to challenge Cooley for the backup role now at Blue in Philadelphia. Like, what direction is this team going in? If we really wanted to make the playoffs, which we were only tied for making last year, then we should have been improving. And if we really didn't want to make the playoffs next year, we should have been moving pieces. Now, we could definitely still move Rasmus Andersson. If we move Andersson and be 1 or 2 forwards before the start of this offseason, I definitely think we're going to be in a really good position to tank for McKenna. At this point, I don't feel this team's a playoff team, and if they do squeak into the playoff spot, how are we going to win a playoff round? We got to sell more pieces, Andersson, Kadri, Coleman, etc., and we got to go for McKenna. If this team gets McKenna, next year we can go for the playoffs. But this year we gotta tank. This team's so mid, man. You gotta be kidding me. Like, Botterill, all season long, said we're going to be aggressive and we're going to make a whole bunch of aggressive moves. And what was our biggest moves? Signing Ryan Lindgren and signing Mason Marchment and Frederick Gaudreau. Marchment's a good 3rd line forward. Gaudreau's a good 4th line forward, and Lindgren help on the 2nd and 3rd pair. Are these blown away great additions? No, they're not. We didn't do anything good except for moving Burakovsky off to Chicago. Like, that was a great deal. Yeah, you're welcome for taking on Burakovsky. I'm still confused as to why we made that deal. But besides the Burakovsky deal, like, why the heck are we doing any of these things? This team is full of great players, but not fantastic players, but not crappy players. We've got a bunch of 2nd line players or 3rd line players on this team. We've got no top line players, no 4th line players. Like, why is this team so much in the murky middle? When they were mentioning that we were going to have an aggressive offseason, I thought we were going to get some top 6 forwards, some defensive upgrades. Like, this team's going to miss the playoffs by a big chunk next year. I wouldn't be surprised if we were in the McKenna sweepstakes, but after making the playoffs those few years ago, then I was really hoping we would make it back at some point soon. Well, the future's looking extremely bright. Draft was great. We got Misa and Ravensburger in the 1st round. Misa, Eklund, Celebrini, Toffoli in the top 6 going forward is going to be scary, as well as Will Smith. Like, we got 5 out of our future top 6 pieces. We also got Ravensburger and Askarov Ravensburger in nets in a couple of years' time is going to be great. In free agency, we had Gaudette, we had Kurashev, so all bottom 6 guys on the younger side of things. We needed some defensive experience. We had Leddy off of waivers from St. Louis. Yeah, thanks for helping us out with that. We really needed Leddy off the cap, as well as Dmitry Orlov and John Klingberg in free agency to get up to the cap floor. And now we actually have a team that looks like it's going to be good, at least on paper. Like, if we can stay healthy this year, maybe, just maybe, we can get out of the basement of the Western Conference and at least take strides to maybe being a playoff team in a year or 2. But I at least have a lot of hope that the future is going to be very bright in San Jose.